Hello, I'm Dr. Craig Dalton, a public health physician with HNE Health. I've been involved in lead issues in North Lake Macquarie since about 1997. Main focus has been monitoring blood leads in children, helping prevent contamination in the environment out there, and helping reduce blood leads in children. There's been recent concern raised about elevated soil lead levels in North Lake Macquarie. Understandably, people have concern about the potential health impacts on their children and unborn babies. The purpose of this video is to tell you about our upcoming blood lead survey in North Lake Macquarie and to address any concerns you might have. At the end of the video, there'll be a web link that you can use to forward questions to us so we can answer your upcoming questions in future videos. There's a long history of lead contamination in North Lake Macquarie. A smelter has been in operation almost continuously from the late 1890s through to 2003 when it closed. So the lead smelter put forth a lot of lead dust that blew off the site, a lot of fresh lead fume that blew off the blast furnace into the houses, contaminated schools and playgrounds. Particularly concerned, of course, the contamination of the house, the home, where the children spend most of their time. In addition to that lead source, we also had old lead paint houses. So we have lots of houses painted before 1970. The lead begins chalking off. Large pieces of lead flake can also be a risk to young children. Additionally, there was lead in air from gasoline. That was thankfully phased out in the 80s and 90s. Additionally, one of the waste products from the smelter, something called slag, a black sandy substance, was used as a landfill in many different areas across North Lake Macquarie, and that's still in existence in many places. So government agencies and community work together to try and reduce the blood lead of children. Many programs are put in place. There was greening of the area, there was replacement of topsoil, there was a lot of cleaning in houses, in roofs, a lot of outreach education. Unfortunately, none of this really seemed to work while the smelter was in operation. However, after 2003, when the smelter closed, the blood leads really dropped down quite dramatically and quite rapidly. We assumed that that decline continued, but now it's a really good time, with the concern that is in the community, to go back and check and make sure that that decline continued. Lead can have many health impacts. The most concerning impacts are those associated with development of young children. It can have an impact on IQ, on growth and on hearing, and the younger their child is, the more vulnerable they are to these health impacts. There's a lot of research still being done on lead, but to date it appears that there's no safe level of lead in the body, and we really try and prevent any exposure to lead to keep it as low as possible. So given these multiple potential health impacts, it's really important to know if a child has an elevated blood lead. First of all, getting a blood lead test can provide reassurance that there isn't a problem, but if there is an elevation in blood lead, there are things we can do. The most important thing is to prevent further exposure. So we investigate every child with an elevated blood lead and identify any source that could be contributing to that lead and control it. There are many things that can be done. In rare circumstances, where there is a really high blood lead, medicines can be given in a process known as chelation. That's quite rare these days. Let me tell you about the blood lead survey we have planned for North Lake Macquarie. We're offering free and confidential blood lead tests for all children under 5 years of age from the North Lake Macquarie area. We're also offering blood lead tests to pregnant women who may be concerned about their blood lead levels. So in the past, when we've done these tests, we used a test that required a needle to be put in the arm. It was a little bit scary, a little bit painful for children. They didn't really like it. This year, we're going to do something different. We're using a point of care device. This device allows us to take a small amount of blood just with a little finger prick. Very quick, relatively painless. The other beauty of this device is it gives us a result in just 3 minutes instead of waiting a whole week to get the result back. Unfortunately, there's a small delay because we have to wait for this new device to be approved by the US FDA. However, as soon as it is approved, we'll organise the clinics and let you know where you can go and what time clinics will be run. If you can't wait for the blood lead survey with a new point of care device, then you can go to Pathology North at Warners Bay and get a free blood lead test using the old system of a needle in the arm, and that'll be fine. We hope this information has covered the questions you have regarding the impacts of lead on health and the history of lead issues in North Lake Macquarie and the upcoming blood lead survey. If you have any more questions, we'd love to hear them. Please go to our website www.hnehealth.nsw.gov.au/lead. You can find more information there and send us the questions, and we can address those questions in future videos.